So here we are about a week after the launch of Destiny, and I think it's pretty much safe to say that for a lot of people, the hype train has been derailed. It's like running off into a ravine and bodies are flying off everywhere. Now, I actually have enjoyed the game a lot more than what I anticipated. I told you before the game ever came out that I wasn't really amped up for this game. I wasn't on board the hype train, and I wasn't convinced that it was going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. But a lot of people were hoping that that was what was going to happen. And you know, that's not to say that for some it isn't that game. You know, some people are loving this game right now. But for a lot of people, it definitely has given mixed reactions, let's say. So I was reading a few reviews and I saw a lot of review scores that were like 6 out of 10 and 60 out of 10. And, you know, a lot of the complaints are very valid. You know, it's a lot of repetition. It's not very many worlds that you can go visit at the moment. I think these are all things that can be fixed and will be fixed, you know, especially within time. But for right now, these are very valid complaints. As far as the social element goes, you know, if this is supposed to be a social game, it definitely doesn't play like one, because for me, I've had a pretty hard time meeting up with people who are, you know, the same rank that I want to go run around and do some story missions with. Everybody's always above or below me. And so they haven't made it very easy to meet up with like new people or whatever else. These are all, again, very valid complaints. I don't think the multiplayer is that well balanced. And I'm going to go over a lot of these in a future video that I do where I go into depth about the things that I like and don't like. But I think the biggest thing that killed this game wasn't necessarily the gameplay mechanics, wasn't necessarily the story, or I guess the lack thereof. I think it was the hype. This game was so hyped up. Everybody was so excited for it, and everybody was so convinced that this was going to be the next best thing and that it was going to keep people playing for the next several years down the road. There was no way that the game could live up to everybody's expectations. And a lot of that has to do with not just, you know, people buying into the hype and everybody getting excited, which there is a psychological element to that. You can have a group of people who get excited about something, and other people will become excited as well, just from hearing their excitement and being around it and getting that energy. So that's definitely part of it, but part of it was definitely also the marketing around it, because it had been marketed to us as the next best thing. I mean, just days before the game actually released, Bungie came out and they said this is the best game we've ever made. And, you know, those are pretty big, bold words whenever you're talking about the company who made Halo, which some people think is the greatest game ever made. And whenever you played it, I can definitely say the game's no Halo. I'm not sure if the reviewers fell into the hype or not, because I've seen a lot of reviewers give it a 6 out of 10, and I definitely see some valid concerns, but it's definitely worth more, I think, than a 6 out of 10. And I think if anybody else would have created this game, if there wasn't as much hype for the game, then I think it actually would have been received a lot better by the gaming community. They reviewed it based on what they expected and not what the actual game brought to you. So anyway, those are just kind of my thoughts. I don't know. I was just kind of thinking that this morning whenever I woke up and decided to put it out there. And I'll be putting out that video pretty soon, talking about in depth what I like and what I don't like about the game, and what my overall opinion of it actually is. But I did want to kind of bring that up and post below. Let me know, what do you think? Do you think hype was part of the problem with Destiny from the get-go? And if it wasn't so hyped, do you think it would be better received? Interested in hearing your thoughts. That does it for me, the Red Dragon. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.